I guess you could
Let me get closer. Tell them how to find you.
You could probably go ahead and find me on YouTube.
No idea where I'm at. Leave it.
Your back window just fell.
Oh, this is even worse than me. I'm a link bending machine.
Fluffernutter in them.
Oh, those are stiff. Oh, those are the ones you printed.
How you spell crawl? Is there an E on the end? I go over a chance.
What's up, boys? This past weekend, we had a guy stop by and drop off a truck. 24 Yeps, one-stop modification shop. Let me show you who the guy is. Jalopy RC, my boy Joe, pulled up and dropped it off along with $100. We have $100 to see how much more capable we can make this. I'll give you guys a quick look at what we got going on here. Actually, not too bad. We have some good parts on this. We'll go give it a quick test as is, and then we'll spend $100 on it and see what kind of performance gains we can get out of this thing. Good looking stock Gladiator, fenders cut a little bit. Injora brass links, high clearance links, front and rear. Super 8s, black Super 8s, front and rear. I'm pretty sure the Super 8s come with overdrive, underdrive, so we should be good there. Really no brass on the front at all, just stock. Shoot, hang on. We're back, sorry about that. What was I saying? Really no brass on the front at all, just a stock Super 8 axle, aluminum knuckles, aluminum diff cover. So the only major weight brass is all of the links. I think that's going to be one of the problems, having like a 50-50 weight ratio. CCXRC Baby Goliath brushed motor. Not sure how I feel about that yet, so I have nothing to say. Injora adjustable chassis. I'm sure I'm okay with that. Injora brass skid plate. Little Guy Racing wheels and tires. These are black labels with the Injora inserts. Three Flow 9 roller steering link. This is the new one where it's just one big roller, nice and smooth. Emax servo. Injora double barrel shocks, front and rear, with rubber bands on all four of them. Overall, first impressions. I tried to flip it shut and it hit my light. There we go. Overall, first impressions. Not bad. This is a great start. I think this will be... What will this be a good example of? This will be a good example of how much front weight can help. I think we're going to add some weight to the front. Not sure what else yet. Let's just test it first and see what we got going on here. This doesn't seem like a bad build at all. It just needs a little bit extra. All right, let's weigh it and then go test it as is. Shout out Nacho Crawlers for the scales. Here's what we're working with. Starting setup. So it's actually 50-50 front and rear weight. Total weight 521. The Little Guy Racing wheels are also a pretty heavy thing that adds to this. Alright, so ideally the front weight, we're gonna want to get that to like 60 or more. It seems to be the sweet spot for my rocks at least. But we'll try this as is, see how it does. Alright, as we all know, the ESC line actually doesn't sound that bad in person. Anyways, what was the point of this clip? Oh yeah, I'm only gonna get like 2 or 3 clips just because the noise is annoying. Just to get like a baseline of how it runs. Drunken Frog. I'm assuming it's going to tip over when we get to this spot. Yeah. try it once more just to make sure. Just edit that out. That's pretty good. We might be able to get up through here. This truck isn't that bad. Alright boys, here's the plan. First up, big boy brass knuckles. These were $10. This is the Amazon listing. Next up, we're going brushless. Endura brushless motor, Endura brushless ESC. This was $70. To be able to run brushless and use a stock remote, we're going to switch to this style remote. This is the one that came with the truck, the blue one, and we need to use this style to be able to, and this, to also use this. So we're going to have a lot of stuff going on under the body, but there's plenty of room, so we should be fine there. And this will be a lot more smooth, a lot more powerful, should be good. So between these two things, that's 80 bucks. The remote just came from my collection. I have a bunch of them. So I'm not worried about that. Alright, as I'm pulling this apart, I just realized the upper links are on the wrong side. So I'm going to go ahead and swap those around. I just wanted to give a look at what they look like before and after in case anyone else needs to swap them. So I flipped this side around. This side's correct. Also, this does matter because it's causing it to bind a little bit. You can see right here how it's like perfectly straight on the mount. Same with right here. And then right here how it's like shoved in there crooked. So whenever it flexes, it binds up right in here, kind of hits itself. Good to go. We're in and moving. I just wanted to show how the brushless is set up with the stock remote still. Ignore the noise of the Emax servo. Motor plugs into Endura ESC. This is just a power button that comes with it. Battery over here. Endura ESC plugs into channel 2 of this thing. And then the servo also plugs into this. So we have steering. What the heck was that? Siri thought I was talking to her. Nice and smooth motor, steering. Just need to find a place for everything now. I think I found 2 aluminum rings out of my collection that fit the Little Guy Racing wheels. The Little Guy Racing ones are heavy brass that come on it. So I'm going to pull his 2 rear wheels apart and put aluminum on them. That'll help getting the weight forward. So just as a little weight update, shout out Nacho Crawlers for the scales. All we've done so far is the brushless motor, and I tried to move some stuff forward. So now we're at 51% front. I'm going to switch these aluminum things in the rear now and we'll check again. 2 brass rings out of the rear and aluminum ones are now in. Current weight 53 in the front, 53% front. Okay, in the process of putting the brass knuckles on, and I just wanted to quickly talk about it. Once your knuckle is installed and there's a screw on both sides tight holding it, it should be able to very freely move. I ran into an issue where it was just like perfectly tight and I had to I had to drill out both of the knuckle holes. That way these little spacer things could fit in there, and after drilling it out, it seems to have fixed it. Another quick weight check. I just got both of the brass knuckles on the front. So far we've gone from 50% front weight to 56% front weight. We've changed around some of the electronics, but we also added extra stuff since we went with the brushless. I have the motor facing forward, brass knuckles, aluminum rings in the rear. Tossed a new servo on here. This was a piece that I had already had, not something I just now bought. KST servo, much stronger than the Emax. Alright, I think we're good to go test it. I have all the wires kind of bunched up back here and zip tied. Battery will connect right there. Another thing I wanted to mention, the stuff that I bought and did to this probably would not have been my first choice on components, but I only had a week to get this done, and a lot of the shipping on stuff that I would have chose was like 2 or 3 weeks away. So I had to kind of plan around stuff that I already had laying around and stuff that shipped within 1 or 2 days to be able to get this done. Overall, I think this still should be a massive improvement. Now that we have the new servo in, let's just weigh it quick and then we'll go test it. This is with the battery installed. So we managed to get to 58% front, 576 total weight. Should be a lot better. Nice, dude. Much better than before. Sweet. There we go. Oh, I think the rack is hitting. Oh, there we go. I thought the rack was hitting the rock and preventing us. Where do I want to go? Sweet, dude. So much better. I think that'll do it for this one. I did end up, when I got home, switching the servo back to the Emax one. Towards the end, I was starting to have issues with the servo that I put in it. If it was my truck, I probably would have just left it in and dealt with it, but I don't like the idea of working on somebody's truck and then there being issues with it and giving it back. So because of that, I put the Emax back in it. The Emax works fine, it's just not as powerful. And it's noisy, but it works fine. I think I'm happy with how this turned out. This is a lot more enjoyable to drive. It's capable. Once again, a lot of the stuff that I did to this was due to the 1 week time limit. The majority of stuff that I would have bought for this, the shipping times were a lot longer than 1 week, and 1 week is what I had to get this done. And that was the reasoning for what we did to this. So a final look at what we did. We added a lot more weight up front. We have the big brass knuckles, and then we changed the brass rings that come with these wheels to aluminum ones. We switched around some of the front links that were binding and put on incorrectly. All 4 shocks originally had rubber bands on them, and I just replaced the front two with a bit of a stronger one. Switched to a brushless setup. The motor that was in it probably would have been fine, but the brushless is just such a more enjoyable crawling experience for me. And yeah, I think it does well. I think this is a good, simple, enjoyable Gladiator. The Super 8 axles were on it when we got it, and it seemed like they already had overdrive, underdrive, so I did nothing with the axles, just besides the brass knuckles. Joe, I'd say you're a bit too strong with the screwdriver. I found a handful of bolts that just had the head snapped off of them. Because of that, I used a little bit of glue for this slider here. It was only held on by 1 bolt, and it was wanting to flop around. So some of this slider is held on by glue. It still should be fine though. And then a couple other random snapped screws, 2 of them that I had to drill out. Kind of annoying, that's okay. Yeah, overall I think this turned out good. I'm happy with it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Peace!